No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 will be above the law.
The FBI arrested a judge last week who aided and abetted an illegal immigrant by ushering him out a non-public door into a back exit so that he could evade federal agents there to arrest him with a warrant. Here's what gets crazy. This man was supposed to go to court for mercilessly beating another man, striking him around 40 times in the face before strangling him. The victim was in the courtroom to get justice, and the judge adjourned the case and helped this man escape. She's been arrested. Now, in response to this, another judge is threatening a boycott, saying, I don't care if I get arrested. And the governor is now intervening, providing obstructions, which are just on the other side of obstruction. It's getting crazy out there, my friends. I don't know what you describe this as, but you can call it whatever you want. But we are in a period in this country where Democrats, nothing you say matters. They are merciless. They are ruthless. They will lie. They will cheat. They will steal. And I'm sorry. Starting off the show that way, for somebody who's politically uninitiated, they're probably going to say, this is crazy. What are you even talking about? Let's start here. The FBI arrested a judge because she aided and abetted an illegal immigrant who had a warrant. The federal law enforcement were there with a warrant for his arrest and removal. This is how it's supposed to go. The Democrats helped this man escape. They did catch him. And for this, they're saying, Trump's arresting judges. Let's start at the beginning. You have the media lying every which way. You have the very fine people hoax. Trump never said that neo-Nazis were very fine people. I implore you, please just look up Snopes, very fine people. And they debunked it 7 years later. I don't know why it took so long, but sure they did. You have the Covington smear, and of course now the Maryland man hoax. The media is lying about everything. I say the media, I say corporate media outlets. They're referring to this Abrego Garcia, a man from El Salvador, who was here illegally, who admitted to being here illegally, who was ordered deportation twice. They're saying he's a Maryland father. He's not from here. He's illegally residing in Maryland. Okay, fine. We'll give you that one. They're lying about everything. But let's go back last year when Democrats arrested Trump's lawyers in Wisconsin and Georgia. They arrested Trump on false charges. And you know what the challenge is? There's no way to try and break down the history of the lawfare against the Trump administration and his associates. It's just impossible. So where does that bring us now? The reason why I started so strong in saying that they're going to lie, they're going to cheat, they're going to steal. Guys, it doesn't matter what we say. They don't care. Listen, the challenge that we have here is that I can lay down for you in detail everything related to the lawfare against Donald Trump and how it's illegal and unjust, and they'll just lie, say the exact same thing in the inverse. Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault. That's fabricated. A special law was passed in New York allowing a 1 week amnesty. A 1 year amnesty, 1 year for anyone who wants to sue a sexual assault, want to accuse someone of assault civilly. And only one case was brought, and it was E. Jean Carroll. She couldn't corroborate her story. She had no evidence. They found Trump liable anyway. 34 cases of felonies. It was one case of a misdemeanor. They called it falsifying a business record. That's a misdemeanor. How did that become 34 felonies? It's all lies. The point is this. You know it. I know it. We can't convey that to these people. The media is lying. All we can do every day is try and report the truth and hope people can break free. But so long as you have sophists and these liars on the Democrat podcast side, there's not much you can do other than keep pushing and keep trying. But it's tough, my friends. Right now, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers' administration is instructing state employees to help illegal immigrants avoid ICE. Technically correct. Only technically. And I say that because this is the intent. Let me see if I can make this much more legible. The intent of this order from the Wisconsin governor is to aid and abet illegal immigrants. Let me show you what he says. He's not saying outright, break the law. Of course not, because the FBI will arrest these people. But he says, instructions for state employees encountering ICE or other federal agents. Notify your supervisor, ask the agent for their name, why they're there, documents, have a seat. Call the Office of Legal Counsel. Do not answer questions. Give the agent access to any papers or files. Do not give your consent to the agent to enter non-public areas. Remember, every state employee has a duty to protect confidential information. Okay, what is this? When the federal government comes in and says, we have a warrant to arrest a guy and we need your help. Well, typically in the United States, when the feds come in, they say, okay. The trope in movies and TV shows, I'm not saying it's real, I'm saying it's the trope, is that there will be a detective on a scene and they'll be like, it's a crime scene. And the Fed shows up and goes, it's my crime scene now. And he flashes the FBI badge and they're like, what? I won't stand for this. I'm going to the governor. Because the feds can come in and take jurisdiction. That was the trope, right? So if the governor is going to tell people, do not comply with feds. Okay, we've got something new and special on our hands. Illegal immigration is a crime. You, of course, can instruct people on how they talk to cops or don't talk to cops, but I do find it absolutely funny. We are now at a point where a governor is instructing his employees of the state to defy. Okay, I'm not saying obstruct. I'm saying that when the feds come, we do not cooperate with them. The lines are breaking down, aren't they? Look, I don't know where this goes. I don't know what this becomes, but I said it before and I'll say it again. Go back 10 years and ask people. Lay down everything we've seen in the past 10 years and ask them what they're going to tell you you're nuts. Donald Trump's not going to be elected. That's insane. They were saying it exactly 10 years ago. Actually, I don't know if Trump descended the escalator 10 years ago. But when he was running, they were laughing. They're saying he can never win. It's ridiculous. He's a clown. Tell him then that he'll be accused of being a traitor to his country, a Russian spy. He'll be impeached twice. 1,000 people will storm the Capitol building in 2020 to contest an election. I believe 1,000 were on the one side where the writing was. Then say that there'll be the worst riots in 50 years. The White House will be firebombed. I mean, come on. And then end up with, when Trump wins, there will be arrest of judges. The state will then instruct the employees to defy the federal government, stop complying with orders. It's just, no one's going to believe it. Now take a look at this. Another judge. Wisconsin judge threatens courtroom boycott over Hannah Dugan arrest. Monica Isham says she will not allow ICE to send illegal immigrants to a concentration camp. A Wisconsin judge is threatening not to hold court in protest of federal authorities arresting her fellow judge, Hannah Dugan, last week. Judge Monica Isham made the announcement in an email to judges across the state on Saturday. Her email titled, "Guidance Requested or I Refuse to Hold Court," made clear she had no intention of working with ICE. Quote, "If there's no guidance for us and no support for us, I will refuse to hold court in Branch 2 in Sawyer County. I will not put myself or my staff who may feel compelled to help me or my community in harm's way. I have no intention of allowing anyone to be taken out of my courtroom by ICE and sent to a concentration camp, especially without due process, as both of the constitutions we swore to support require. Should I start raising bail money?" Isham wrote. Now, a lot of people thought she was saying charging people more bail. No. She's saying should she raise money for herself because she thinks she's going to go to prison. Okay. Guys, illegal immigration is illegal. The states for a long time now have been acting in defiance of the federal government to cheat and steal an election. I want to throw it up to our good friend Eric Swalwell, who said, cheat an election. That one's for you, buddy. For those that don't know, he farted on camera when he said cheat an election. So whenever you cheat an election, you make the fart sound. I digress. Here's how it works. Democrats run sanctuary cities. Why? They bring in large amounts of illegal immigrants, protect them from the federal government. It's illegal. It's a crime. It's unconstitutional. And then when the census happens, they count those people towards their population, which is it's literally what they've done for forever. This gives Democratic states extra votes for president. That's right. In the Electoral College, they get extra votes. So what ends up happening is California has what? How many votes does California? Let's find out. How many EC votes California? I think it's, let's get the solid number. I want to make sure I have my facts right. Here we go. 54 electoral votes. It's got 52 members of Congress and 2 Senate seats. California's electoral vote count decreased from 55 to 54 following the 2020 census. It's expected to go down a bit more, actually. It's at 54. It might go down to 50 even, or even high 40s. Why? Mass deportation, out-migration. Democrats, there's a lot of people, I know most of you know this, but a lot of people don't. Congressional seats are apportioned based on total population. That includes illegal immigrants. That means there are members of Congress that are voted on not by their constituents. Now, how does this make sense? They actually say, you've got 775,000 people living in your district. 75,000 are illegal immigrants. That, because of that number, you will get a congressional district. They can't vote. So then Democrats win by default because they're in Democrat areas, mind you. But here's the important point. If you were to take away all of the illegal immigrants from California, they would get a couple less votes in the Electoral College. So the estimate now with net out-migration, people fleeing these blue states, are that even if Kamala Harris were to have won Pennsylvania and Michigan, Trump still would have won the election in 2024 because of the gain in Electoral College seats with Texas and Florida, other red states. So the Democrats are flooding their states with illegal immigrants so they can cheat in the elections, so they can cheat after 2030. This is how it works. You don't need these people to vote. Illegal immigrants don't need to go and cast ballots. They simply need to live there and fill out a census form. And then Congress gives them extra votes. They get extra votes in Congress and they get extra votes for the president. They're cheating by upwards of 7 to 13 votes. Meaning, imagine if we took even 5 votes away from the Democratic Party and gave them to Republicans. They'd have a much stronger majority. But if it's on the high end of maybe 10 to 13, Republicans with a 15-seat majority in Congress, not to mention what we end up seeing in the Senate because of the way the voting patterns change. It's disgusting. You'd have Republican presidents winning the popular vote a lot. This is why they won't deport. So now what? Okay. She says, if this costs me my job or gets me arrested, at least I know that I did the right thing. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, reacted, saying that it was problematic. Dugan was arrested and charged with obstruction. So that's the other governor. The other judge. Wisconsin Democrats denounce arrest of Milwaukee judge in ICE case as some Republicans cheer. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. I'm done. We've got terror attacks against Tesla dealerships and Tesla owners. You've got rampant crime in blue cities, the worst we've seen in a long time. Will we see a summer of love? I don't know. We've had protests, but they've been fairly weak, so I don't know. Democrats have been obstructing the law, cheating in elections for decades, and now Donald Trump is doing something about it. They're not going to sit by and just let this happen. But what does that mean for the rest of us? Honestly, my friends, I can't tell you. I just hope that you've maybe purchased some gold or silver. I got to rephrase that. This is not financial advice. Let me put it this way. There are ways. Yeah, don't do that. Don't listen to me. There are ways. I have gold and silver. I buy that stuff. I actually have copper. Copper is good for stuff, you know. And it's funny because it actually has gone up a lot in value. I have emergency food, emergency water, ammo. I don't think the world will end. I don't think that Yosemite is going to blow up. Is it? Yellowstone. Yosemite. Why would that blow up? Yellowstone. It's the Yellowstone caldera, right? Now they're close enough. You know what I mean? The Yellowstone caldera, volcanic crater. The system will break down. Right? And I want to make sure this is clear for everybody. When we talk about our concern for collapse, it's not that the world ends and humans are gone. It's that the system breaks down. And then you won't know where your next meal is coming from. Right now in Spain, the power's out. Nobody knows why. Southern France, Spain, and Lisbon. No power. Nobody knows why. Sometimes it rains. So I hope you've taken precautions. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to wrap it up there, my friends. Smash the like button. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Stay tuned. We got more segments coming up for you throughout the day, and we'll see you all in the next segment.